The key to TLS 1.3. Welcome to the channel. Please consider subscribing. I produce videos daily covering a wide variety of cloud topics with focus on networking. Also, hit the bell icon to get notified of new videos. Today, we're diving deep into the TLS 1.3 handshake to answer a very specific and important question. Does TLS 1.3 only use ECDHE for its key exchange? The answer is nuanced and reveals a lot about the design philosophy of the modern web's most important security protocol. We will explore the rules, the exceptions, and the practical reality of how a secure session is born in TLS 1.3. The short answer: mostly, yes. Let's get right to the point. For all intents and purposes, if you are establishing a new connection on the modern web, the answer is yes. The overwhelming majority of all new TLS 1.3 handshakes use ECDHE. However, the full, technically precise answer is a bit more detailed. The protocol allows for one other ephemeral method, and it has a completely separate mode for resuming sessions. We'll break down all three of these possibilities. The golden rule of TLS 1.3. Before we look at the specific algorithms, we have to understand the golden rule of the TLS 1.3 key exchange. The protocol absolutely mandates perfect forward secrecy. This means that any method that uses a static, long-term key for the key exchange is strictly forbidden. The keys used to establish a shared secret must be ephemeral. That means temporary and discarded after the session. This rule immediately eliminates the insecure static RSA and static Diffie-Hellman key exchanges that were allowed in TLS 1.2. The ephemeral family. Two options. This ephemeral-only rule leaves us with the Diffie-Hellman family of protocols. There are two main flavors of ephemeral Diffie-Hellman. The first is DHE, the classic version based on modular arithmetic, which we can think of as the original ingredient. The second is ECDHE, the modern version based on elliptic curves, which we can think of as the new and improved ingredient. Both provide forward secrecy, but they are not created equal. The contenders. Classic DHE. Let's look at the first option. Classic DHE. Its security is based on the discrete logarithm problem. While it is secure and provides forward secrecy, its major drawback is performance. To be secure against modern computers, it requires very large keys, 2048 or even 3072 bits long. Performing calculations with these enormous numbers is slow and computationally expensive. It's a heavy and cumbersome tool for the job. The contenders. Modern ECDHE. Now for the second option. ECDHE. Its security is based on the much harder elliptic curve discrete logarithm problem. Because the math problem is harder, it can provide the same or better security with much smaller keys, typically just 256 bits. These smaller keys lead to dramatically faster calculations, lower CPU usage, and less data to transmit during the handshake. It is superior in every practical way. The head-to-head comparison. This table makes the difference stark. For the same level of security, ECDHE keys are an order of magnitude smaller than DHE keys. This directly translates into a much faster and more efficient handshake. For a busy web server handling thousands of connections per second, or for a battery-powered mobile device, this performance difference is not just nice to have, it is essential. The industry has overwhelmingly chosen performance, which is why ECDHE is the standard. The verdict. The undisputed king. So, is classic DHE allowed in TLS 1.3? Technically, yes, the specification does not forbid it. A client and server could negotiate a DHE-based connection. However, in practice, this almost never happens. ECDHE is mandatory for all TLS 1.3 implementations to support. Given its massive performance advantages, it has become the sole de facto standard for new key exchanges. The king is ECDHE. The special case. Session resumption. So, we've established that for new connections, It's all about ECDHE, but there is one other way to establish keys in TLS 1.3, and that is by resuming a previous session. This is handled by a mechanism called a pre-shared key, or PSK. This is the shortcut that allows a returning visitor to bypass the full, expensive handshake. This is a different mode of key establishment, not a different key exchange algorithm for new sessions. How PSK resumption works. The process is simple. After a successful initial handshake which used ECDHE, the server can send the client an encrypted session ticket. Inside this ticket is a secret pre-shared key, PSK. Later, when the client reconnects, it sends this ticket back to the server in its first message. If the server accepts the ticket, both sides now share the PSK, and they can use it to derive the new session keys without doing any public key cryptography at all. This is a 0 RTT or 1 RTT handshake and is extremely fast. The hybrid mode, PSK plus ECDHE. TLS 1.3 also allows for a best of both worlds hybrid mode. A client can present a PSK ticket to get the speed benefits of resumption, but also include a fresh ECDHE key share in its hello message. The server can then use both the PSK and the new ECDHE shared secret to derive the final session keys. This gives you the speed of resumption while also providing the full perfect forward secrecy of a brand new ephemeral key exchange. This is often the recommended mode for high security applications that also need to be fast. The full picture. All key establishment options. This table gives us the complete and final answer. For new connections, ECDHE is the mandatory and standard method, while DHE is a rarely used technical possibility. For resuming connections, the PSK mode is used. And finally, static methods like the old RSA key exchange are completely forbidden. The protocol has been streamlined to use the best tool for each job. Conclusion. Let's bring it all together to answer our original question. Does TLS 1.3 only use ECDHE for negotiation? For establishing new sessions, ECDHE is the only method that is required and is the only one used in practice, even though classic DHE is technically allowed. The only other mechanism for establishing keys is the PSK mode, which is not a general-purpose key exchange but a special shortcut designed specifically for session resumption. So, for all practical purposes, the key exchange of the modern web is ECDHE. Final thoughts. The design of the TLS 1.3 key exchange is a masterclass in modern protocol design. It learned from the mistakes of the past by forbidding insecure static methods. It embraced the most efficient and secure algorithm, ECDHE, as its default. And it provided a fast, secure mechanism for session resumption with PSK. This combination of being secure by default while also being highly performant is what makes TLS 1.3 such a successful and important protocol. Thank you for your attendance. Please consider subscribing to the channel.